3, classified as a first felony offender. Offenses: aggravated incest, 2 counts; sexual battery, 4 counts; oral sexual battery, 2 counts. Sentencing date, December 3rd, 2001. Sentenced to a total of 35 years. Parole date, December 3rd, 2021. Good time, not eligible. Full term, December 1st, 2036. Is this information correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Marabello.
Thank you very much. Mr. Abar, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir.
I'm having extreme difficulty hearing you. Can you get closer to the microphone in some way or speak louder?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's better. Mr. Abar, how old are you, sir?
58.
And how long have you been in prison on these charges?
Almost 21 years.
All right. Tell me a little bit about your educational background. You got your GED, I understand it, in 2004. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
What other education have you gotten while you've been in prison, if any?
I've been taking all these classes that they've been having. Faith classes and all that. Substance abuse, anger management, NAAA, sex offender class.
Okay, those are programs that you've taken. Okay, what about your education? Did you get any other degrees? Did you get a diploma from the theology school?
Yes, sir.
All right.
That's a big program thing.
Tell me, now let's talk about the programs. Since you've been in prison for 21 years, what do you believe has been the program that has helped you the most?
About all of them.
Well, anything particular stand out to you?
Sex offender classes helped me a lot.
And what and how did that help you? What did you learn and how has it helped you?
It taught me that the things that I'd done was wrong, and I needed help to overcome them and to face up to the things that I'd done, take responsibility for all my actions, not to blame nothing on anyone else or anything else.
Mr. Abar, did you have a drinking or drug problem?
Yes, sir.
Let's talk a little bit about drinking. When did you start drinking?
About 14.
What were you drinking? Would you start out drinking?
Secret 7.
And how often would you drink?
Like every weekend or something.
Okay. When did you start using drugs?
I was 6.
When you were what?
6 years old.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I was 6 years old.
What did you start using at 6 years old?
I was smoking marijuana and sniffing glue.
And what did you progress to, if anything?
Cocaine, tea. It's like cocaine. It's like a powder substance. You can,
How often did you do cocaine?
pretty often.
Was cocaine involved in the commission of these crimes?
No, sir.
Were you using cocaine during that period of time?
No, sir.
Well, when did you quit using cocaine?
I think around 96.
How'd you stop using cocaine?
I had a heart problem.
Did you ever get treatment for drugs?
No, sir.
You consider yourself to be an alcoholic or a drug addict?
Yes, sir.
And how are you going to stop using drugs and alcohol when you get out?
I just got to go to programs and get around good people and stay away from it.
Mr. Abar, tell me, in the 21 years you've been in prison, tell me how you've reflected on these horrible crimes that you have committed. Tell me what you think about that. Tell me how you've changed. Tell me why I should believe you're not going to do something like that again, and I should let you out or vote to let you out.
I reflected that from everything that I've done wrong. You know, hurt my family. I heard, everybody that's close to me that was good to me, I had no right to do that. There's no excuse for the things that I've done to them, to my daughter, I had no excuse at all to do what I've done.
Prior to coming to prison, did you have any mental health issues? Had you ever gone to a mental health counselor? Did you ever take any kind of medication for mental health?
No, sir.
Now, Mr. Abar, in 1995, you were accused of doing something very similar to this with your daughter. In fact, your daughter was taken away from you, right?
Yes, sir.
Did you get any treatment back then? Did you have any counseling? Did anybody require that you do anything back then?
Yes, sir.
Well, what did you do?
I went to, I can't remember the doctor's name. It was over there at Jordan Smith Hospital in Algiers. I've seen him for a long time.
And what was the outcome of that? I mean, what did you learn from that experience with the doctor?
I learned to try to control the urges and the things like that. And,
Did he suggest some ways you could control those urges?
he just said, just to talk about it with someone that you can trust, to understand your problems and just to try to.
And how long did you go to him?
Positive things. Excuse me?
How long did you go with him? How long were you in counseling with him?
I don't know. There to 3 to 6 months. He had moved office.
Okay. And then after your counseling, did you go back to using drugs or alcohol or anything?
I was still using drugs at the time.
You were still using drugs during that time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But you went back to committing these horrible crimes on your same daughter a few years later. Why is that?
I have no idea, sir. I really don't.
Well, how have you changed? How you're asking me to vote to early release you? How do I know you're not going to go out and go back to using drugs or do something like this to someone else?
I really don't want to do this to no one else anymore.
Well, did you want to do this to your daughter back then? I mean, I'm hearing all kind of conflicting things.
No, sir.
Well, if I accept you really didn't want to do it back then, something caused you to do it, you can't tell me what that is, and you can't tell me that you're not going to do it again. You don't want to do it, I accept that. But what's going to stop you? What's different now than when you came in prison?
I'm reading like the classes that I took, in sex offender classes and anger management classes and all sort of helped me to reflect on those things and to help me think positive thoughts, you know.
Let me ask you this. Have you reflected in the last 21 years on what this has done to your daughter? What are your thoughts about that? I mean, you talked to me about you talked to me about a lot of things, but I haven't heard you say anything about what damage this has done to your daughter. Have you thought about that?
I know it's probably done a lot of damage to her, you know, psychologically, physically, you know, mentally. I'm sorry for causing all that pain to her, you know. It wasn't right to cause those pains, to abuse her like that. And she had no fault in that. All, you know, she didn't do anything to cause that.
Mr. Abar, you've done some positive things while you've been in prison. I commend you for that. I'm going to sit back and listen to everyone else and before I make up my mind. So I appreciate your comments. Warden, can you tell us anything about Mr. Abar?
Yes, Mr. Maribel. I mean, as you said, he's done some positive things. I think a lot of classes, has a diploma in theology, conduct history. For a while it was bad, but he hasn't had a disciplinary report since 2019. So he's shown a little improvement there. I think I'm kind of just reading the room a little. Your concerns are kind of like mine. Just that I'm concerned about the accepting the responsibility of some of the things that he's done. I think he's working on it, but not quite sure that he's there.
Thank you, Warden. I appreciate your comments. Mr. Chairman, that's all the questions I have. I'll sit back and listen to everyone else.
I see the speakers today in opposition today. At this time, Ms. Carey, anything you'd like to say to the board? Unmute your mic.
Yes, sir. There is something I would like to say. The man who calls himself my father is nothing to me. I could have shut down emotionally. It would have been easier to shut down and avoid the pain. I could have closed off part of myself that feels and cries. Sorry. I can't read it. I can't. Where were you? Oh. There. I can't do it.
I'm gonna speak on her behalf. I'm Ashley. So where she was she can't close herself off to this feeling and cries, but I learned that when I shut down my feelings of fear and anger and sadness and grief, that also closes off of my ability to feel joy and love and happiness. The man who calls himself my father did not and will not take that from me. I feel pain, anger, and grief and disgust that of the thought of what this man has done and did to me. More importantly, I need the board to understand that I feel for his others, past and future victims, and the children he will most likely and definitely hurt in the future. If he is ever set free, he hurt my brother and my sister, even if he was never charged and has never suffered any consequences for that. My family is can't. Where are you? Where are you?
Okay, my family is fractured because of this monster. I have an aunt who is only now years later talking to us again because of this monster. She had to separate herself from him and his poison. She had to separate herself from the rest of the family too. She was molested by him as well when they were children, as well as his other son, as well as his son and his other daughter, who he is not formally charged for. I can see the lack of trust we all have, the broken relationships, because I can't even read it right. Because we're trying to find a healthy family for ourselves. This is damn near impossible for us because of the memories of family have been poisoned from the filth and the spread he spread around everyone he met. He is not, I am not, and will never be over what he did to me. I am better and stronger now. Those memories hurt me still and scare me still. When I opened the letter telling me of this hearing that was happening, I fell to the floor. My legs would not hold me up anymore. The progress I made and had been building in my healthy life has just disappeared. All I could think was this monster can never be out. The memories came flooding back and stayed in my head for days and days after. And the pain and confusion and panic was all back. And I was a kid again and terrified again of this monster hurting me again. He has no grief or remorse for what he did or any of his actions. He only regrets that he got caught. I know in my bones, if he is ever released, he will continue to hurt children as long as there is one in reach. We all know that if he is released, he will find someone who will believe him, who says the charges were fake, the lawyers screwed up, or the police had it in for him. He won't tell them he actually confessed and put himself into prison. He will tell them that I lied and that we all lied to get him, to put him into prison. And there will be some foolish woman out there who will believe him until he rapes their children. And even then, will anyone believe the kid? Or will he get away with it again because he's such a good liar? I have a couple of things to say to the board of committee. You have to keep him in prison where he belongs, not because of what he did to me or to my family or to other kids you know he hurt, because of what we all know and we all do.
Okay, we're gonna have to move along with it because we got other speakers here also on this case. We give y'all so long. You want to go ahead and wrap it up?
I just had one more thing and one more sentence. I will do everything that I can to ensure that he does not get out and to protect the innocence of other children from him. And hopefully he will be safe rotting in hell.
Okay. Thank you very much. At this time, Mr. Gary McCain, I see that you would unmute and go ahead and speak.
Yes. I have been molested by the person who calls me son. When I was a little kid, he touched me inappropriately, and with me being a little kid at the age of 7, thought that it was okay. Honestly, I do not believe that a pedophile should be able to get to see the light of day throughout their entirety of their lifespan. My only support that I had when that was happening was my older sister. She helped me as much as she could. I have blocked out a lot of stuff from my childhood because of this, and I thought that I would never have to bring it up again. It hurts just to think about it. I do not wish what happened to me to anyone. Putting this man back into civilian life or civilian population is a huge risk, and a risk that I do not want on my conscience.
Okay. Thank you very much. At this time, Mr. Abar, anything you'd like to say to the board?
I just
I
want
think Mr. Meyer wants to speak as well.
Okay, hold
sir.
on just one second. Mr. Randy Meyer, DA. Sorry about that, Randy.
That's okay, Mr. Wise. Randy Meyer, Assistant DA in Jefferson Parish. We are very strongly opposed to Mr. Abar's request. Obviously, the crimes that he committed are horrible. As his son said, he's a pedophile. Son and daughter said that the risk is very strong that he gets out and continues to do these acts, particularly and very importantly, because he has not taken any sex offender treatment while he's been incarcerated. The record indicates that it is suggested that he needs that sex offender treatment, and he has taken none. Looks like the only programs that he's completed is living in balance, nurturing parent, phase 1 and 2 of living in balance. He has some other certificates which are good. He has a poor disciplinary record, which has gotten better, and that's a good thing. But the fact that the crimes that he committed and the fact he has taken no sex offender treatment and the very, very strong victim opposition, we are also very strongly opposed.
Thank you very much. At this time, Mr. Abar.
Yes, I took sex offender classes here, and I completed all 4 phases of it. And also taught the class, facilitated the class. And I don't know where, I'm not taking no blame from nobody, and I'm taking blame for all myself, all things that I've done. But I had no recollection of ever molesting my son or my other daughter. I don't know where this is coming from. Carrie, yes, but no, not my son, not my other daughter. I don't remember all this. This has never happened. This is all new to me. I never heard about this until just now. I thought I was just here for Carrie, not for nobody else. When I went to court, they should have brought all this up in court.
Okay, we're not here to try any other cases. I want you to speak your what things you've done the last while you've been incarcerated.
Like I said, I took sex offender treatments. Here, that's the only thing they have here is the sex offender classes that you can take to better yourself and to look deep inside you to see what kind of person you are.
Did you take phases 1, 2, 3? Did you take phases 1, 2, 3, and 4?
Yes, sir. Phase 4 is the facilitator. Which you teach offenders here how to take responsibility for their actions in phases 1, 2, and 3. And it teaches you a lot about yourself and your behavior.
Okay. Thank you very much. At this time, no other questions there, Mr. Marabella.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Abar, my notes do reflect that you completed all 4 phases of the sex offender treatment. So just want to put on the record, at least my notes reflect that you did that. In the last phase was the peer supervision, which you did. So I think we have that. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll get the record straight on that. Mr. Abar, it looks like you're working pretty hard where you are. And that's a good thing. I think that you're working on some issues that you have, and you should be commended for that. But as I sit here and talk with you, and I realize you're nervous, and I realize it's difficult for you to be in a situation like this, sort of talking about things, but I just get the impression you don't understand what you did. You just don't realize the significance of the harm that you've caused to your daughter and your son. And you don't understand that. You've taken some good courses. Our sex offender class is an excellent course. You talked about your substance abuse. Maybe you got the principles down, but I don't think you've taken it into your heart. I hope that you can get there, but you need to dig deep inside to realize what you've done and what effect it's had on your children. And until you do that, I'm not prepared to vote to release you early. So you've done some positive things, but today my vote is to deny your parole. Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Ms. Bonnie?
All right, Mr. Abar, again, you have taken a lot of programs, but I agree with my colleague. You can take programs, you can sit in classes, you can get credit for being present in those classes, but unless it has an impact on who you are as a person, then it's just a certificate that doesn't have a lot of meaning. I'm very concerned that when your daughter was taken out of your home at age 6 and you went through some sort of counseling, when she was returned to your home, you began to molest her again. So even with individual counseling, it didn't curb your tendencies to molest your daughter. And I'm concerned about that. You're still a young enough man that if you get out of prison at this point in your life, you could pose a risk of harm to others in the future, because I don't think you have fully dealt with whatever issues you have that would cause you to even think of having any kind of sexual contact with your daughter. And so because of the strong victim opposition, the strong law enforcement opposition, the fact that you are a repeat offender with the same victim, and the severity of the offense and the harm done, my vote today is to deny, but encourage you to keep working on your problem, because it's a real problem and you've got to come to grips with it.
At this time, I'm gonna be voting to deny because of all the same reasons my colleagues voted today. You have been denied. Thank you. Thank each and every one of them.
Thank you.
I'm not sure what enrages me more from watching this hearing than to hear that he was somehow caught for doing this to his daughter in the 90s and then allowed to go back home with her. How is that possible? Or am I more upset at Jim Wise for cutting her off? I am so happy he is gone. The idea that he was the longest serving member of the board for some way, somehow, and he shows no respect even for his own position. He has random conversations with the wardens during hearings. He has never put an effort to improve his Wi-Fi or his microphone every time there's a connection issue, and he talks down to the survivors. If he was even paying attention, he would have been able to tell that her speech was wrapping up. It was at the end. It was very clear to anyone who's paying attention. She had one sentence left. And the way that he cuts her off, you have to wrap it up. He could have said it differently. Although all he had to do was be paying attention to know that it was wrapped up. Other people have to talk. What? Her brother and the DA? Who else? It's pathetic. He's gone. He's gone. We don't, he's retired. But yeah, we have seen a lot of hearings, and the every once in a while it feels like you get hit in the side of the head with the bat. You have his son, you have both his daughters, they're on his own sister, and that's the trail of victims that we know about, survivors. Thank you, Randy, for showing up. Randy shows up to all his hearings, but it makes a difference to have the DA show up. They're not alone. They're not alone in this. And then he sits there at the end of his hearing and he starts talking about, I'm here. I have no idea what they're talking about. I'm here for just one. I only got locked up for one. My son, I have no idea what they're talking about. I don't know what they're talking about. And it's like, I wanted the board to reprimand him. I don't feel they came down on him hard enough. They kind of got stuck up on programs. Oh, what programs? Oh, yeah, I did. You took programs. It's like, there are no number of programs that will ever change you. And the one thing that stuck out to me were the survivors. They were saying, I'm okay, but what I'm afraid for, what I'm nervous for is that he's going to come out and do this to someone else. He's going to lie. He's going to state that we made it up. He's going to find some woman to get to have access to the kids, and he's going to hurt those kids. And it's like, yeah, say the truth. Speak the truth. Wrap it up. You cannot put this thing back in the street, but he will. His full sentence is 2036. And we're going to see him at more parole hearings. You know that, right? They're going to put this family. This is probably also Act 122. An act that allows people over a certain age who has served a minimum of 20 years to get parole opportunity. Meanwhile, look what it does to the family. Crazy. We can thank the Louisiana Parole Project for lobbying legislation to make this possible. He is 60 years old today. In 2036, he'll be 76. Like his daughter said, the only place he should be is safely rotting in hell, which I hope that his experience in prison is for him. His little cell. I wanted more mic drop moments from the board on this one. I did. I needed it. It's just to be so disgusted. So disgusted. You hear the son speaking by age 6. And then he goes there and he calls them liars all over again, proving what the daughter said he would do. Not that we needed proof. But it's scary to think that he might make it out one day. But I have no idea, and Richard couldn't find the information to understand how, in what universe, that father was allowed to go back home after being to the point where the state had to have him see a doctor and they let him back with his daughter. How is that possible? It defies logic. And I know that there might be a lot of you watching this that will say, there has to be something that we don't understand. It wasn't, there was a good reason for it. They didn't know. And the sad part is you can't make those assumptions. The system does not make sense. The system is not designed to protect. It is very broken. And a lot of these things happen in a vacuum. But YouTube and technology has changed that, where the common person can say, what? No, what? And people will have to stand up to their decisions. They will have to explain why it is they thought it was okay to allow a father near his child. He couldn't even name the doctor that he was seeing. It's sick. But this is why we do it. This is why.